Welcome to InvestorAi Academy's Saturday webinar series. This is the fourth one we're having in a row. I'm Shruti Bopaya and I manage client engagement and comms. I also have with me today Akshay Bhargava, our founder and chairman of Bridgeweave. We're an AI fintech company headquartered out of UK, but doing some very exciting work like you see with InvestorAi in India. And we're very happy to talk to you about it today. I also have with me Sarthak, who's our head of products, and his entire team is also here today. So today's session is quite special for us in a sense because you asked us for the session. You know, we've been getting a lot of feedback about, this, we've been loving the webinars, but, why don't you tell us how to make the most out of using InvestorAi? So without further ado, let's beat the street and, learn how to beat the street with InvestorAi. So Akshay, over to you. And before we start, let's keep the chat buzzing, and we're going to take a lot of questions after the session. But we'd love to, have you talk to us on the chat as and when you think of something. So over to you, Akshay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shruti. I want to welcome all the participants to this webinar. At first, when we started, we were not sure whether Saturday was a good time. But it appears that Saturday is the best time because it doesn't interfere with your weekday. It's just before lunch, so you can have lunch, think about what you've just heard. But I still want to thank you, all of you, for taking the time. One small thing before we actually get started is, look, this is a free webinar, and our purpose is just to, educate, inform, and have a discussion amongst like-minded people. So if you have any friends or anybody else you think who might be interested, we would be delighted to have them with us. So just take the invitation you got, just forward it. It'll work for everyone. It's not specific. And then, of course, you get a discount at the end of it. So it's not all bad. Today's session is, we've titled it Beat the Street. But really speaking, as sort of Shruti said, the idea came from all of you. So in our previous seminars, we talked about individual algorithms. We talked about our value investing algo, alpha 330 algo, etc., etc. And people said, this is all very well, but, we want to, can you just tell us all the features and the cool things that are there in the app? Because then it just makes it more powerful for us. And we said, what a good idea. And then we started to script the webinar. And I realized there is so much there, and it was a very good request that all of it may not be obvious. So we've decided to split the content into two webinars. So think of today as part one, and the next Saturday one will be part two. So the idea is to beat the street, and InvestorAi has been designed with that in mind. If you look at all our algos, all our signals, they are only intended to create alpha for you and to give you good ideas and so on. So it's a very appropriate title. Now, there is a Chinese proverb which says, give a man some fish and he will eat for a day. Teach him how to fish and he will eat for a lifetime. Now, of course, it sounds very profound, as most Chinese things do. There is also, I could take objection at a couple of things here. One is, what about all the women? It just ignores all the women in this by saying he will eat for a day. Secondly, if you eat fish every day for your lifetime, that's pretty boring. So, but leaving nitpicking apart, it's actually a very important thing. And I think the way we have approached InvestorAi philosophically, we want you to understand how to look at investment signals, how to look at the market. We never tell you what to do. Okay, we never give you advice. We are not your advisors. We don't know about your personal circumstances. We don't know your goals. We don't know your priorities, your age, your income, etc. So, there's a lot that we don't know. So we're not in a position to tell you if anything is good for you or not. We are only in a position to say something is good or not. Okay, so that's how you should look at the signals. The signals we generate are a result of a tremendous amount of computational mathematics that Sarthak has and his team do. But the way we have presented them in a simple, easy to understand way, that you don't care about the maths. For instance, when you drive a car, do you even know how a carburetor works? Do you know how a fuel injection machine works? Do you know how the cylinders work in the car? I don't, but I know how to drive a car, and I can get from A to B. I love driving, and I'm a good driver. Okay, I've had no fines, no points in my license, etc. So, you don't need to understand the inside engineering in order to be a very effective user of InvestorAI. I think that's the point I'm making. Secondly, we are not just teaching you how to fish. We are giving you the entire toolkit. We're giving you a fishing rod, we're giving you a fishing net, we are giving you a boat to go out. We're telling you, when to catch big fish, when to catch small fish. We are also showing you, I can see a fish there, take a look at it. Then it's up to you to go and catch it. So I hope you get the parallel, that it's a simple kind of a thing. So, okay, so what we are really doing is, helping you become a lethal weapon. And I use that terminology on purpose because it evokes images of Mel Gibson. But other than that, I first want you to understand what you have in the arsenal, all the armory, all the grenades, all the guns, and all the sniper rifles, etc. There's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot in the app. And secondly, I want you to be able to decide which one is right for you and when. Okay, so that's really the purpose of this session. I'm going to cover three things today. I'm going to first cover the home screen. Then I'm going to cover something called active monitoring. And third, I'm going to cover something called play. And then I will show you the screen very quickly. And then I will go on to the actual app itself and show you how that works. So the home screen is very simple. It's divided into 4 parts, or 5 parts really. The top banner is the home button, is the home banner. You'll see a bell over there, and currently a bell is under development. In a few days, you will start seeing notifications and stuff. So you you will know what alerts you need to look at. The 4 squares on the right is the menu button. And if you press on that, then you get a range of options. Then you see something called Latest Inside India or Aurobindo Pharma. This is the swipe left, swipe right, again, very much the Tinder style of movement. But it shows you all the latest insights or what people are looking at. It's basically what other people are doing, right, on the app. Then below that, you have learn more videos. And this is again through popular demand. People said, look, can you show us a video? Can you give us? So we've got 5 or 6 really cool videos. Most of them, I've recorded myself. You will find the red background very familiar because that's what we have used. And but they're useful. They actually tell you how each algo works, what to do, what not to do. I would really encourage you to watch it before you use it. And the third section is active monitoring. So the final section is the bottom bar, which is a few buttons that you can use to navigate in the app. So before I sort of go further, let me ask people a little question. How many of you invest currently? And how many of you are just thinking of investing? So Prabal, can you just pop that question for everyone? Okay, you will see a question coming up on your screen.
It's up, Akshay. It's we're looking at.
Okay, I can't see the.
Okay, so we're at about 80-20, 80% who have invested in stock markets and 20% never invested.
Okay, great. So that's very useful information for me. So most of you are investors. You have invested before. So I can. But there are some new people. So I will spend a little time talking about some new functionality. There is a second question I want all of you to answer. How many years have you been investing? Just want to know what kind of experience base.
That's just gone up, Akshay, the question. Yeah. So we're seeing it's interesting today. Okay, we're still seeing a 0 to 1 year at 45%,
50%.
yeah, and 1 to 3 years at a 30%, yeah.
This is very interesting, everyone. Every time we ask the same questions, every time, but not all the same, but mostly, because we really want to know, what is your investment experience? And roughly 45 to 50% are 1 year or less. So there are a lot of new investors here. And I'm very encouraged to do that because, again, I'm going off on a tangent a little bit here, but I really believe that, for young people today, getting into equity markets early and staying invested for a very long period is the best thing you can do. This will outperform any other investment class if you look historically. I mean, I wish I had started when I was 25. If I had started at 25, I would have had so many years of compounding growth, and I would have learned a lot. And but I did not. And even if I could, I did not have the money. The Indian stock markets were not that busy. So be that as it may, I hope you will take advantage of the opportunity. So anyway, this is the home page. The only things you have to click or swipe. There is no other action needed. There is one final thing I should point out. You'll see a question mark in a circle. This question mark will explain. You'll see this question mark in many places in the app. Wherever you see it, just click on it, and it will just tell you what that section is meant to do. Okay, so it's just very easy to understand. This is what we call active monitoring. Think of active monitoring as your personal investment assistant that never sleeps, never goes on holiday, never demands a bonus, never has bad attitude, or never has a bad day and gets along with everybody. Okay, that's an ideal kind of assistant that you want. So you can select any stock you want to monitor. Okay, just enter the name of the stock, select and say monitor. And once you click on monitoring, it will live inside your active monitoring section on the home page. And it will, today it doesn't, we are changing a few things in it. But once you click on the stock, like if I've been tracking Tata Consultancy. If I click on Tata Consultancy within active monitoring, I will see 2 or 3 things. Firstly, I will see how Tata Consultancy has done versus market. So in this case, it has mostly outperformed the market, a few down periods, but currently it's slightly higher. And then it will show you that since the date you started monitoring, it has been a little more volatile stock than the index, which you can see visually also. And returns have been slightly lower, 10.6% versus 11.9% for the index. So it then tells you that since you started monitoring, how this stock has done versus the market. Secondly, if there are any live insights on TCS within InvestorAi, it will tell you. And then you can sort of go in and take a decision. So here it's telling me that there is a live Alpha 330 insight, which was generated on the 2nd of March. And since the time it was generated, it has already delivered 3.5%. Okay? So that's what this is telling me. And that's the red square that you see. You see a gray square. This is an old insight that is no longer active. It was generated on 25th of January. It's a swing trade insight. Swing trade insights stay open for 3 days. And during the 3 days, it did not make too much money. It lost a little bit. So
just a small request from the participants to just be a little louder. I think just some of them are experiencing. Yeah, okay, just a little louder.
I'll just speak closer to the mic. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's active monitoring, and I will show you in a minute, but this is just to introduce the screen. The final section is what we call play, and play is just about having fun. You can compare any company to any other company. And I'm not going to go too much into this page because now I'm going to share my screen. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay. So now I'm going to share the screen of my phone. Okay. Okay, so this is InvestorAi that all of you are familiar with. This is the home page that I talked about, and the top again. Just to remind you of the navigation, if you click on the menu button, you will then see the entire menu. This is where your subscriptions are, your knowledge center, your glossary. So knowledge center gives you a bunch of videos about each algo. The glossary gives you the explanation of any terms. You can just click on anything and it tells you what it is. It's really useful. This is very, very nice and easy. You can set your preferences. By the way, if you haven't worked out preferences, you should, because preferences allows you to set markets. And I have only activated UK and US. You can switch on and switch off anything you want. So it's really quite simple. You have to select your sectors. Again, I've selected all sectors in this particular case, but I could easily switch something off. Just remember, if you switch something off, then you will not see any insights from that sector. So that's worth keeping in mind. And then you have language. So currently we only support English, but we will soon be supporting other languages. So you'll just be able to flip languages at the touch of a button. And then you can give us feedback at any time you like. These are the videos that you can just skip through. It also tells you your subscription plans, and I'll come to that at the end. And this is your active monitoring. So these are some of the companies I'm monitoring. Okay. We were talking about play. So if I go to play now, let's take an interesting example. So I'm going to take Tesla, and I'm going to compare it to Tata Motors, and then we'll see what happens. So if I take Tesla, it is comparing Tesla with the US market. Now, the pink shape is Tesla. The gray shape is the US market. And what it is doing, it is comparing Tesla visually on 6 criteria. Okay, the 6 criteria are capital structure, analyst consensus view, valuation of the stock, future outlook, historic performance, and maximum drawdown. So let me just talk about these in a minute. Now, of course, there's a question mark, so all you have to do is tap on it, and it will tell you, what each term means. But let's just cover it now. So on capital structure, it says capital structure is about its debt equity ratio, its ability to service debt, ability to pay interest, and so on and so forth. So in this case, Tesla is roughly equal to market. By the way, one other thing, it's converting every criteria from on a 0 to 20 scale, where 20 is very good and 0 is very bad. So the larger the shape, the better it is. So Tesla is fantastic on future outlook by this kind of visual logic. So that's capital structure. If I move clockwise, consensus view is average analyst consensus view. So do analysts like it or not like it? The third one is valuation. So how does it compare in price relative to the market? So what this is telling me that Tesla does not do very well, which means relative to the market, it's a very expensive stock. And that's something we know. I mean, if you've read about Tesla, you know it's just an overpriced stock. The next one is future outlook. And this is really based on EPS growth forecast from analysts. And that's very, very good. So you can see that's as good as it can get. Historic performance, again, very good, because we know it was a huge loss-making company and it has now sort of made money. Maximum drawdown is the distance between peak and trough of the price. So the more volatile the stock, the lower rating you will get. The greater the volatility, the lower rating you will get. And this is telling us that Tesla is a very volatile stock. Again, this is something, if you follow Tesla, you know the price has gone up like crazy. It has fallen like crazy. Some of it is influenced by Mr. Musk, who comes out with strange comments from time to time, and some of it is the market. So that's what
Actually,
this is
we
telling.
have a request from the audience, a couple of people who wanted us to do a live comparison of two
Okay.
stocks. Do you think we could take one?
Yes, we can absolutely take one. Tell us.
Yeah,
Give me.
I
Give me
think you'll have to set to India, Akshay, on the preference. They've given us some.
don't worry. Give me a name.
Yeah. So the name is I see ID. Yeah, I see IDFC Bank and then SBI. They want to compare these two.
IDFC First Bank. Okay.
Yeah.
So now it is comparing IDFC Bank with the market. And IDFC Bank is doing better on future outlook, better on historic performance, slightly better on valuation. So it's slightly cheaper than the market, but not so good on all other things. The one that would worry me is capital structure, because this is telling me that the bank is over leveraged, it does not have sufficient capital, and the analysts don't like this stock at all. So that's how I would visually interpret that. Of course, it doesn't substitute your own research, so please go. And then you can compare it to banks. Again, not a very different thing. And to compare it to what? SBI. Shruti?
Yeah, SBI.
SBI, State Bank of India. And now you can see what a difference. IDFC is better on historic performance, a bit better on future outlook. The analysts love SBI, probably because it is a much cheaper stock. So it does very well on valuation. And SBI's capital structure is better than IDFC Bank. So I hope it gives you an example. You can compare anything to anything. You want to compare IDFC to JP Morgan, you can do that. If you want to compare IDFC to Barclays, you can do that. You want to compare IDFC to Tesla, you can do that. Okay, so it's just a free form stream of consciousness kind of thing. I find it incredibly useful. In fact, I keep this next to me on Sunday mornings when I'm reading the money section of the Times and or the business section, because sometimes they mention companies, and I immediately go and say, look it up, saying how does it compare, what does it do, and so on and so forth. So it's a really, really interesting and useful. Now, the other thing that you should know is that the more you use Play, the better InvestorAI will get about understanding your preferences. And we will shortly be releasing a module called Profile. And in that, you will be able to see what your preferences are. You can then tell us that, no, this is not right. I don't really like banks. I was simply playing around. Or, no, I do like banks, and please increase the weightage here or there. So it's going to be a really, really interesting feature, a first of its kind, not just in India, but pretty much anywhere in the world, I think. And I hope you will enjoy it. So that's Play. Let me just come out of this, go back to the home page, and talk a little bit about active monitoring, because I mentioned this. And so now you can see these are the stocks I'm monitoring. And while there are individual stocks, I can also monitor a basket. Let me just go here. So I can go to any stock. This is the ideas corner, and it has all the algos that we have: value investing, ETF investing, new age themes. If I go to new age themes, it creates thematic baskets, but these are global baskets, so you have to be subscribed to Global Pro. Otherwise, you will get this screen, but you won't be able to proceed beyond that, because then you won't have access to international stocks. So some of you who use small case in India, this is similar to small case, but on an international level. So some of you may have LRS accounts, some of you may be investing overseas. If you're doing so, this is a great fun thing. So I could take cloud computing, and I could say, show me top 5 stocks, and then sort them in the order of analyst consensus view, and then it shows me the stocks. I can pick 2 or 3. I'm just picking something at random, and I'm saying monitor. So now it becomes an active monitoring basket that I am tracking. Okay. And if I go back here, it will now show me the cloud computing. Where did cloud computing go? Yeah, so this is the one I just created. I can go in here, and it can tell me that, so it will start monitoring it. It knows I'm tracking these 4 stocks. If there's anything new that comes in that I should be tracking, it will alert me. So it really does act like your investment analyst. So that's active monitoring. These are just some stocks that I'm monitoring. Let me just take moneysupermarket.com, and this is a UK company. Again, very familiar page. It's telling me how Money Supermarket has done. It's outperformed the index, over the last 3 months. But since I started monitoring, it hasn't done so well because I simply started when the stock was at a high. There have been a past insight, Alpha 330 or 4th Feb generated an insight which has delivered 14%. So that's fantastic. Okay. Now, to sort of, you should remember that if you're on the free plan, you will only see, if you click, you can click on anything you want. If you click on value investing, for instance, you will see only one sample insight. And the sample insight is really intended to give you an idea of how this thing works and what the insight looks like. But but please do get access to the whole thing, because there is, you can see just in value investing, there are just tons of insights. A few things that you should remember: wherever you see this target button, which is right on the top next to the bell between value investing and bell, if you click on the target button, that will show you accuracy of that particular algo. So if I click on that, this is telling me that value investing algo is running at 92% accuracy. It has generated 191 insights in the last 90 days and at an average return of 20.9%. This is fantastic, guys, because 20.9% in 90 days is a phenomenal annualized return. Now, it doesn't mean you'll get it every 90 days, but for the last 90 days, this has done really well. So that's about all that I wanted to talk about today. And I'm going to be opening for questions. So please ask me any questions you want. All of us are here, between me, Sarthak, Shailesh, rest of the team. I think we will be able to answer pretty much any questions you have. The last thing I want to say is that, please be mindful of which subscription plan you're on. If you haven't paid, then you're on the enthusiast plan, and you will see only 4 or 5 insights. Okay, but that doesn't mean that that's all there is in the system. There's a lot more. Okay, if you subscribe to the domestic pro plan, which is India, there are 128 insights to see today. If you subscribe to Global Pro, then there are 684 insights. So it just tells you how much more there is in InvestorAi that you can use. For the next webinar, what I would like to do is to go a little deeper into Ideas Corner and explain the philosophy behind each of these algos, and give you a quick walkthrough of how some of the screens are designed and what the features are, without going into the algo itself, because the algo mathematics takes more time. So I will leave that for the specific session on the algo. But I would like to cover these 9 algos with you and explain to you how it is intended to work and how you should think about it. So, for instance, swing trades is a 3-day algo. Alpha 330 is a 30-day algo. Value investing is a 90-day algo. How should you think about it in terms of using it to create a portfolio, using it to identify stocks, using it to buy, and using it to manage your portfolio? Okay, so with that, let me stop here. By the way, before I close, can I just ask one question? How many of you are currently using InvestorAi to use to look at your investment ideas? So, Shruti, can you ask that question, please?
Yes, it's just up on our screen.
Okay.
And wow, it's pretty interesting. Okay, right now we're at about 35% who have, 36% who have used InvestorAi, okay, and about 64% who haven't yet used InvestorAi, but I'm sure they will be there today after this.
Okay, that's really helpful. And for those of you who have used InvestorAi, thank you very much. We hope you continue to use it, and we hope you really have fun. More than fun, I hope you really take value out of it. I mean, my best sort of conversation was with one of our customers, one of our early users, who came to us and said, "Look, I have made more money, many times whatever you are asking for subscription. I've made many times that money in the first 2 weeks. So I'm really happy. We were very happy with that. So, and we really hope he continues to make money. So all of you, should use it. But even if you are not investing, just being informed about the market, looking at what is going on. If you even use it just to educate and inform yourself, that is enough. And that's a great start. So for those of you who have not used InvestorAI, please do use it, play around, tell us how to make it better. We are constantly working on it. Every week, 2 weeks, you will see something new coming in, and we will tell you about it. We are very proud of what we have built. We think it's a great product, but the only thing that matters is not what we think does matter, what you think does. So please give us your feedback and tell us how to make it better. Thank you.
On that note, Akshay, the very first one is we have quite a few people who have actually asked us about consensus view, and if we can explain a little more about that, and whether that just looking at that actually betters the returns on a particular stock if we ended up trading on it. So, but consensus view is really what they want to understand.
Sarthak, would you like to pick them up?
Yes, of course. So guys, you see a lot of analysts coming on TV giving a buy, sell, hold rating. And same way as every investment bank that you see, the Goldman Sachs, the SDFC Bank, even to a certain degree, they also do research. So, what consensus view is essentially taking the recommendation from all of these market participants and giving it and assigning it a score based on likability. So what we look at, all the analysts. So let's say there are 20 analysts covering a stock. Let's say it's Vedanta, there are 20 analysts covering that. So we take all the buys, we take all the sells, we take all the holds. We look at the overall target that the analyst gives us. And then based on that score, we see where does Vedanta lie in the materials universe. So what happens is every recommendation that we get is normalized. So what you see is, how much is Vedanta comparing against the market versus the sector versus any competitor you want to compare for.
Yeah. Just to add to what Sarthak said, the other part of the question was, is that enough for us to buy? So look, whether it's enough information for you to buy or not, that is entirely up to you. All this is telling you, this is one data point which you should consider. This is telling you what all the analysts are thinking. इनको अच्छा लगता है, नहीं लगता. But whether it is good for you or not, that is your decision. So this is just one thing that you should consider. What we are doing is making it easy for you to understand by going to all the analysts and taking an average and calculating their buy holds, and then doing it every day for every stock so you can see it everywhere. It saves you a ton of work.
And guys, just to highlight the quality of data, I know you guys will have seen a lot of our, market participants and money controls, etc. What makes us very different? If you really look at Akshay, he's been CEO of Barclays. I was a chief CIO office, UBS, and many different capacities. The quality of data we use is head and shoulders above anything that you would see in Indian markets. We have multiple sources. Every time we validate it, it's a very data-driven approach. So we consume probably half of our cost on data, just to give you some color.
Yeah, sadly, we spend more money buying data than I like. So, but that's cost of doing business. Yeah.
So we have some specific ones around the app. And I think Shailesh has tried to answer it in the chat. But for those who are not looking at the chat, actually, we had one on, can we have a dark theme option on the app for us to change the background? So that's something that's actually come in. That's one. And then we had another one on, can themes be sorted based on countries or markets when we show them the themes?
Okay, let me just take both of them. I love the dark theme. but we are a small team. To be very honest, don't hold your breath for it, because we have so much other, which we believe is more useful functionality to bring to you, so that the dark theme is sort of a little bit later in the years. But watch this space. Personally, I love it, and I would love to have it, but you will see it at some point in time. I can't tell you when. The second part is, I'm not sure if I fully understood the question, but the algos work on all markets. That's what our machine does. It runs every algo every day for every stock in every market that we cover. Okay. And we'll be adding ETFs soon, so it will run on every ETF. And by the way, when it runs on ETF, it doesn't run on the ETF, it runs on the underlying holdings of the ETF. So it's hugely, hugely powerful. So in every day, we generate these insights in our universe and keep them. The market and sector are really filters for you. So if you say, I only want China, or not China, but if I only want Spain, then you'll get only Spanish market insights. If I only want US, you only get US market insights for the sectors. We felt that was the simplest way to sort of present this. But I'm not saying it's the perfect way, but it's the simplest and the easiest to understand. Now, what you're asking for, can you sort them by market? We probably can. I mean, I see no reason why not, but let us think about it. It only becomes useful when you're tracking more than one market. Otherwise, they are anyway sorted for you.
Actually, let me take that up. So what's happening is right now about 70% of thematic securities are from US, and there are some in Europe. There is Adani Green and companies like that in India as well. And that's the reason we thought that most people would be investing in US anyway, and that's why they would see the securities. If we do it very country-wise, you'll just get 1 or 2 or 3 securities, and that's the whole point why people are gradually moving towards global investing itself, because they want to get access to themes. So that was the reasoning behind keeping it like that. But yeah.
No, but thank you for bringing it up. It's an interesting point. Hadn't occurred to us. We will have a debate internally. So, internally we are very good at fighting with each other about functionality. This is important, that is important, because we are all very passionate about it. So we will discuss and debate this internally, and then consider whether it makes sense to do it, or is there another way to solve the same problem. Thank you, Shailesh.
Yeah, so then we have a whole lot on, can we get in, deeper into Alpha 330, into value investing, into, so actually I think one, we have covered some of them in the earlier webinars. However, maybe the next time round, when you're talking about specific, the ideas corner, some of this will get covered again, but all of our videos of the previous webinars are already up on our YouTube channel, and we'll talk to you about that later. We have another question.
Shruti, can I just add something there? So there are previous webinars on value investing in Alpha 330, which will take you deeper, but we will have more, because see, these are constantly evolving algos. So we are adding functionality, we're adding things to Alpha 330, we're adding things to value investing. And we will do more webinars specifically on these subjects, because they're really important and quite complex in the background. So please watch out for the notification, and please join us for the webinar. And in the meantime, you can use you can look at what is recorded. Sorry, Shruti.
Yeah, we have quite a few questions actually coming in on subscription plans, since we're waiting for that at the end, because I see 2-3 questions. What are subscription plans? Why is your discount? What is the discount? How do I avail it? Can I just get those 2 slides up, and we'll come back to, because we are waiting for some questions to come in actually. So team, if we can just have those slides up, we'll just cover that very, clearly, so that the audience gets it. So thank you, Vedic, DHR. I see a lot of people asking these questions, so we'll just cover that. Akshay, do you want to take it?
Yes, for the price of a Swiggy order. So look, our subscription plans are, we feel they're very reasonable and very competitive. If you subscribe to, if you're on the enthusiast plan, which is free, you will see one sample insight per algo. So we take some of our best insights as samples and show them to you. It's just a sample, you know. It is to give you a feel of what the layout looks like, what information you will get, and we hope that will be sufficient for you to subscribe. Monthly subscription is $7.99 per month. For the Domestic Pro. Domestic Pro gives you access to all algos for the Indian market. The Global Pro program gives you all algos for all markets, and you can have unlimited sort of usage, and that costs $12.99 a month. And so those are our subscription plans. Since you have come for the webinar, and we are very grateful to you for that, you will get a special discount, which I'm going to let Shruti talk about. And she will give you a discount code when you go to register, or when you go to the subscription page.
Yeah.
Please enter your discount code and you will get that discount.
Yeah, so that's on the next slide. Team, can you move to the next slide? So we just quickly just help people just see the discount. Yeah, here it is. So very quickly, we have two types of people on our webinar today. We have some of you who are already on our app, like you just told us, you've been using InvestorAi. So you're already registered. Now, the good thing is just go into your, go into subscriptions on your app. You will already see the discounted price for you because of having attended the webinar, and you will see this 10% discount on your annual plan. And, please go ahead and subscribe. For those who are not on InvestorAi but have just come in for our webinar, you have this discount as well. But the way you will avail it is you will come to our InvestorAi.co.uk website, and you go into the register section, and then it's very simple. You just enter your discount code, you register, you download the app, and you pay for the subscription. And all of what you saw today that Akshay explained is all there for you on that app, and for you to just quickly start making money, after looking at our insights. So this is how, this is the special discount we have planned for you. And I just thought we'll take these questions, but now I'm going to go back to some of the, questions you guys have been asking, and, we'll leave these two slides on right at the end as well. Akshay, a question that's come in, and team, you could take off the slides. Yes, thank you. Is when can we see Indian ETFs and index funds on our app? And we even had one around monitoring Bitcoins, how that can happen. Shailesh has again answered it, but I'm just bringing that up again for you and Sarthak.
I'll take the ETF one first. So look, we do cover ETFs, and we are going to be launching the international ETF module. For now, there just aren't that many ETFs in India, and once we have enough critical mass, I think we can very easily add them. Sarthak, if you want to add anything to this, just pitch in. But I think that's ETF is very much on our plans.
Yes. The honest reason we do not have dark mode is ETF. So that is coming in a couple of months at max, or even sooner. And again, when we do things, we do it for global markets. So, you would have it for all 21 exchanges at the same time. I mean, mostly US, but yeah. But you will have indirect coverage.
Yeah, and don't forget what I said earlier. When we track ETF, we don't track the overall instrument, the collective instrument. We track the underlying holdings of that ETF. So there is a algo that is going to come, which is called Alpha 330 ETF. So what it does, if an ETF is holding 40 stocks, it looks at all the 40 stocks. If there is an Alpha 330 inside on any one of them, it takes the Alpha 330 score, averages it, and then gives you Alpha 330 for the entire ETF as well. It is super powerful and really, really quite interesting. So thanks for bringing it up. Coming soon. It's one of those.
Actually, there's one direct question from Jagdish, and I think we'd like you to take it. Is it advisable for people with 1 lakh capital for investment to subscribe to InvestorAI, or would it be wise to build capital and get back later?
See, I think your capital level has actually nothing to do with subscribing for InvestorAI or not. If you want to get into the market, Jagdish, then you have to get information. Okay, whether you're investing 10,000 or whether you're investing 1 lakh or 40 lakhs. Without information, you are going blind. So you should think of InvestorAI as a way to educate yourself on the market, to be able to filter a lot of noise that comes in. So look, if you go to moneycontrol.com, and I don't mean to be critical of them, for takes a lot of time and it's not very easy to do that. InvestorAI makes it very easy. So if you value, if you're an investor and you want to invest in the market and you value high quality information, then you must be on InvestorAI. And I would encourage you to subscribe, and that's why we've kept our subscription rates very low. I mean, at $7.99, it is really the cost of 2 people ordering from Swiggy. So, and we hope that's not unreasonable or something. But even if you don't go into a subscription, I would encourage you to just use the free plan for a while. एक insight आता है, कोई बात नहीं, एक तो आता है ना. And the technical section is unlimited. You will get as many as you want. The fundamental section is unlimited, even in the free plan. Play is unlimited globally. So whether you're a free plan or even if you've not paid anything, if you want to play and you look at international stocks, GameStop, Tesla, anything you read about in the papers, that is available. So even in the free version, there's a ton of useful stuff that you can do. So I would encourage you to use it regardless. Whether you want to subscribe or not, that is, of course, always your decision. Ultimately, you have to see value in this thing. If you don't see value for 800 rupees, then you should not do it. But, I would personally immediately subscribe because it's not a lot of money, but it gives me that if I make one good investment in a month, this thing will pay for itself.
So good question, actually, Akshay. So is there a weightage on dividend yield and dividend payout ratio? So let me answer that. Look, the thing is, we are very different from what a traditional analyst does, because what we do is we allow the system to learn the weights. So whenever we make a prediction, there are close to 900 features. You name it: fundamentals, technicals, features on what is the beta, what's the volatility. It's an extensive, exhaustive list. It's street estimates, expected growth. So what happens is, once we teach a system for 10 years, okay, this is how it looked every month, and this was how the returns was. So the system starts assigning weights. Okay, for companies that have high dividend yield, in bear markets, they tend to do well. So whenever we see a bear market, the system will start giving that company a higher weightage in terms of probability. So it's again coming from one of our early adopters, Zopo, and it is learned. It is not decided by us.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Arthak. I think that it's been a really good session. Lots of good questions. I can see a ton of them in the chat box. I just want to thank everyone for their time. If you please come back to our next webinar. We're going to have this one every Saturday. And if you like what we tell you, if you like InvestorAI and you like a red background, please come and join us for the next webinar. And please,
I will just, put the, we again had a question on if I'm already registered, how do I avail the discount? I'd just like to do a quick recap on this. So just make it really easy. Yeah, here we are. Everyone, this exclusive discount is only for you because you attended the webinar. If you're already registered, please go into the app. Go into the menu, go into subscribe, and you will, when you see your plans, you will, when you click on the domestic pro plan, you will already see for the annual one that we have got this at the back end. It's already there for you if you're an already registered user of InvestorAI. So please try that. That's how you do it for the already registered people. If you are not registered on our app, the process is really just to come on to our website, which is investorai.co.uk. You will land on our register page. You will see a place to just enter the discount code, enter the discount code that's mentioned here, which is WBNR04. Once you do that, you will be able to register from the website directly. We just take very minimum details. Then you will be able to install the app, you will be able to log in, and then you will see the discounted price, and then you just follow that journey. It's very simple. It will move you from one screen to another. So if you have any trouble with anything that we are saying at the moment, please write to us, support at bridgeweave.com. We are happy to immediately call you and resolve any issues that you may have. So please do send us your number. We will call you. And if there's anything else that you have, you all have been writing in, so please do that. We're just really happy to talk to all of you. So continue to do that. But I will close for today and want to thank each one of you. Many of you who have been coming again and again and again and again, because we've done 4 already. So thank you very much and have a fantastic Saturday afternoon, and see you next week with another webinar, which is the advanced version of what we did today of how to use our app. We will get into the details of that. Till then, bye-bye and see you.